It's really common for people to be using supplements that people say will help improve bile, but they just don't help it flow better. The confusion sets in because some people just need a really little boost. So if they use one of these other herbs or something like that that people think improve bile, they may see some improvement. But the people who have a significantly backed up bile and really need to thin it so it'll flow correctly don't see improvement when they use some supplements like that. Now, did you use some cheap beetroot supplement instead of the beet flow supplement that we talk about using? Beetroot doesn't do anything to thin the bile, and that's one of the most common mistakes that we see. Again, we're not the manufacturers of beet flow, and this is not a paid promotion video for beet flow. It's just what we see works the best, and it's what we use with our clients. So you really want to use beet flow from Empirical Labs, and you can learn how to use that better in the 5 steps to improve bile flow video. Another major mistake is if someone is on like birth control that can raise estrogen levels, or they're using some type of medication or estrogen therapy, and they think that, well, I can just still use this beet flow since so many people say it works well, and I'm going to outweigh the powerful pharmaceutical drugs. And so if you're using pharmaceutical medications that are elevating estrogen level, that elevated estrogen is really going to thicken up bile and restrict its ability to flow correctly. And most people are not going to be able to outweigh that just using a natural concentrated beet greens juice supplement like beet flow. So work with your doctor on that. I'm not telling anybody to stop taking a medication. You really need to work with your doctor to do that. But it is important to understand that something like beet flow or coffee enemas or coffee suppositories are not going to be powerful enough to outweigh a strong pharmaceutical medication. It's just not going to happen. The next most common problem that we see is really excessive stress in someone's life or stress in the body. And either form of stress can really elevate those stress hormones like estrogen that are going to thicken up the bile, and it's going to have a hard time overpowering that with something like beet flow or coffee suppositories. So we really want to find a way to reduce the stress in our life or reduce the stress that the body is dealing with. It's really common for someone to be dealing with some type of undiagnosed infection or overgrowth in the digestive system or yeast, mold, or fungal issue. These things go undiagnosed all the time, and people can be dealing with these invaders for years or decades. And when the body is dealing with an invader like that, it's a major stress on the body. A lot of the resources are going towards keeping this invader in check, and that's making the body very stressed because it doesn't have resources to run all the other functions it's trying to run. And that stress can elevate those stress hormones that can thicken up the bile and keep it from flowing correctly.